Welcome to another episode of Neon Radio Podcast. I'm Reece.
I'm Dan.
We're all in the hex. I'm Declan.
This
hex
episode
is catching on.
So good. The hex is catching on, yeah.
The hex is catching on.
You do not like it, do you?
No, it's just too over the top. Hey, anyway,
Oh, my Lord.
I've got to pick on something.
This episode was so much fun. This went they're getting better. Like, every episode seems to be getting better to me.
Yeah, and they're showing more of the what's the guy at Sword, the leader. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
They're starting to show that he's becoming more of a
not a good
shady
guy.
Remember I said earlier
Yeah.
on, sort of kind of shady.
Director Tyler Haywood.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
There's something about him. She turns all the guns against him at that one point in the show.
That was epic. That was like Magneto in the
Yeah.
X-Men movies.
Yeah.
The first one, I think.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
So good. So this week we're doing WandaVision episode 5. Continuing his direction, Matt Shackman continues on. And just a little bit of a spoiler warning. We do spoil the show's story and some of the characters and just things about it. So go watch the episode first and then come back and listen to the show.
Yeah.
Moving on. Initial thoughts, Dan?
Yeah, this is continuing on from episode 4. They're still showing more. Because, I don't know, I know you guys, I think, liked it sort of getting dragged out.
Yeah.
But I reckon it started to become repetitive. Like you sort of run out of jokes that live sort of...
The course of the sitcom?
I don't really
sitcom,
think they dragged it out, though. It was like 2 episodes.
Oh, no, I'm thinking if they would have kept it going without showing
No, I
anything.
said they wouldn't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, I think it's good now that it's pretty much 50-50.
Yeah.
Vision is, they're starting to see more. You're starting to see more powers.
Yeah.
He's catching on. I want to know what happens when he figures out that he's dead. Man, still heaps of questions. Pietro at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like far out, man. It's like, what's happening here?
It was so frustrating for me because my girlfriend, she watches it with me,
Yeah.
but she's never seen any of the X-Men.
Oh, man.
So for her, it was like, who's that?
Yeah, I showed my girlfriend the clip from Days of Future Past when he runs around.
Sicko.
And I was like, no, because this is cool because this is what he was doing in these movies. And she was like, oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, anyway. Is that everything?
Did you just feel a cool breeze? Is it?
No.
Wow. I just felt one just go...
Have you got your
Ghost?
Do you have your minute review from your girlfriend this week?
I don't.
Yeah. Oh.
You just built up to that.
I know, I did. She didn't do it. And I didn't tell her, though. So it's my fault. I'm going to get in trouble.
letting us down. Letting us down.
I'll bring both of them next week. I promise. I'll make sure. But we'll get a double review from her next week. We'll get a 2-minute review next week.
A 2-minute Tiana segment.
I know. I message her now. I'm like, you got to send it now. Give me the review quick. Just
Ring
put
her
her on the spot.
Ring her and get it live.
Actually, I probably could.
I remember we used to do that.
I wonder if...
Do you remember we used to do that? Hello? Is it back at work? We used to go, this is Darth Vader on the phone.
No, we used to go like this. We used to be like,
Out of
to
nowhere.
the phone, we'd just be like, yep. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can beat that. Yeah, right, sweet. And then you hang up and you're like, that was The Walking Dead. They want me to come and direct season 4.
Oh, my God.
It'd just be random. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Remember, Mitch did the best on that time and he was like, oh, okay, yeah. And he was like, it's canon, they want me to come and try the Mark 20.
Oh, man. So funny. God. Man, we were bored at that time.
Oh, my God.
You need to perk it up. You need to perk up editing.
Back to the show.
Yeah. Declan, your thoughts?
My thoughts. Yeah, it was a really good episode. They keep ramping it up. And still, they're mixing in table setting and ramping up at the same time, which is very smart. And remember I said early on, they won't do the Lost thing. They'll be answering questions as they go.
Yeah.
Because everyone learned their lesson from Lost, except for J.J. Abrams.
Still.
Even though he didn't really make that show, but he just cops the flak for it all the time. Yeah, I wonder if the answer at the end here is that, I wonder. If Wanda is actually the sort of villain in terms of the fact she's controlling everyone, or is something else going on
behind the scenes
that we don't know about?
It must be Hydra Man. Just saying. Hydra.
To me now the ad seems to be more like her subconscious coming through.
Yeah, with Lagos.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't get it the first time. I had to go
didn't
look
either.
it up. And then
it was like when you make a mess, and it was like, because that's what that just
and you need something to clean it up.
Yeah. And then, but she says to Vision, I don't even know how this happened.
Yeah.
Then, like, when they try to have that conversation, and they have that almost confrontation, which is pretty cool, where they both like fly up. And Vision doesn't remember anything from before.
Nothing. Yeah. He's like, I was here.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden,
my question is, when she sees Pietro, right? Because the whole story is this thing is you can't bring back people from the dead, even though she's somehow got vision there. But when she sees Pietro, it's like she hasn't conjured him or anything, like summoned him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So who did it? And
well,
why?
that's why.
Yeah.
That's why we have a viewer.
Yeah.
Who's got a pretty in-depth theory. So we won't go into it this week, but. His name's Tyrone Blackshear. He provided us with a bit of a theory last week, and pretty much his theory is that simply Mephisto keeps coming up as the animals, and then now that this commotion is happening, he's decided to pull Quicksilver in from another dimension. But yeah, that's kind of his theory on this.
And the other dimension thing is like, bringing in that other actor is wild. And if they do that and get away with it, they've just opened themselves. Marvel have just opened themselves up to so many possibilities with the future.
It's also confusing though. Like it could cause mass confusion.
I know, but it's like it's pretty cool. If it works, they basically have the chance to continue the X-Men Fox franchise and also do their own thing. That is insane.
Yeah, they literally have two worlds that they can pull from.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
That is insane.
And I mean, like, literally...
That would make sense with Deadpool as well.
Yeah.
Because he could have that world over there and do things over there while they do their own X-Men.
And also, like...
Wow.
Yeah. Also with, like, the whole what's going to happen with Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Part of... I was reading a thing the other day... Actually, mate, do you want me to wait? Like, you guys say your opinions first before we jump deep into these things.
I already said mine anyway.
Yeah, mine was just I did enjoy the episode. Actually, this is probably the best episode we've had so far.
Yeah,
they keep ramping it.
Yeah,
and just all the way through it, I'm looking for things, and just like nearly every episode, it's just been so enjoyable.
Yeah,
and there's just hype moments in this episode where she like comes out of the hex and is like, "Leave me alone."
Yeah,
moments like that are just
that was awesome,
and she changed the color of it too.
Yeah,
it's gone red.
Yeah, it went red. Like it's as if like there's an extra. Yeah, like an extra form of what's it called? Shielding around it.
How fucking dumb is that? The leader though, that he tried to shoot a missile at her.
Which one?
The leader with the drone.
Yeah.
He's a fucking idiot. How dumb are you?
Yeah, but I guess
like,
they literally
say
more of a villain though.
Yeah, I know, but they literally say in the episode that she basically pretty much beat Thanos on her own, and the only thing that stopped it was the artillery strike.
Yeah.
And then he goes and tries to shoot a missile at her.
Yeah.
Idiot.
How good is that? You just get to see how much power she has.
Yeah, she's
so good.
Well, you just know now that she's like way more powerful than what we've even thought of so far.
They made a mention too to say that she got her power from the Mind Stone, and Captain Marvel got her power from the Tesseract, and they were the two that they specifically mentioned were able to take on Thanos and win.
Yeah,
I was a bit offended though, because I reckon Cap had the best 1v1 with him. When he had Mjolnir, he had him on the ropes. He just got a bit too lightning hungry.
I'm gonna say the best one-on-ones have all been Cap's. Cap versus Iron Man.
Yeah.
Iron Man. Oh yeah,
that's the best one, and the Thor one, man. I mean the Thanos one.
Thanos,
Endgame.
but also Iron Man versus Thanos in Infinity was pretty cool.
Yes,
but he doesn't really do that much damage. He does all that for a drop of blood. But Cap, when Cap has Mjolnir and he takes on Thanos, it's pretty epic. Yeah. But she literally is just like crushing the armor off him when she's lifting him up in the air. Like she's wildly powerful. And Captain Marvel, he can't even hurt her without the Power Stone.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
He had to grab that to even punch her. So, and then Monica, obviously, sensitive topic, Captain Marvel for her. So I wonder what has gone on in the years in between.
Well, and, she's Photon was her mum. So I wonder if they had maybe more of a bit more of like a something occurred between her and Captain Marvel, and
Yeah.
therefore
Because I imagine the
caused
Captain
her
Marvel
to like
movies
her.
are going to fill in the middle years.
that's
in
what I think
between.
as well. I think they're
Maybe,
going to
yeah.
keep him back.
I think they want to do that because they know she's so OP and they need to keep her out of the. Well,
Yeah,
it's true,
a
but
little
they
bit,
have to
yeah.
keep her away because she's too
Coming
much of an
walking around.
answer to
Well,
everything.
she's
like,
pretty much like having a Superman, but also like I think she would do well in like a Green Lantern situation,
Yeah.
like
Big
more of a
supernatural
universal,
and-
yeah, type of thing.
so
Massive
yeah,
monsters and stuff.
and they're really like obviously Wanda's super powerful, but they're really like debilitating her now, like locking her into this thing, and it's like this is obviously going to whatever happens from the show is going to have an effect on her not being a part of the Avengers
Right.
Yeah.
from the get go of the next big crossover movie, right? Like this
Yeah.
is how they're writing and working it so that we don't have these all powerful godlike characters from the get go, like
Pretty
they used to
much.
have to do with Thor in all the movies. Like he was off doing something else or something was holding him back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You have to.
When
'cause-
yeah, because well, Scarlet Witch kind of something's happened between there, because this is before Endgame's portion. So I mean, yeah, there has to
Oh,
be.
it's after Endgame. Is it?
It's before, isn't it? Because they just had everybody come back.
No, but it's set after Endgame.
That's after.
Is it?
Yeah, they're talking about the battle. They're talking about how she nearly beat Thanos.
Yeah. What are you
Oh
doing?
yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well,
And
for some
she's-
reason, I was thinking it was in between because we've just had Monica come back.
No, yeah, but that happened.
But for some reason, my head went to between.
That happened, but that was then 3 weeks later.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Why did I think that?
You had a Dan moment. It's all right. Hey, what's that? It's Monica's the daughter, yeah?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Did you notice the X-rays had nothing and the scans had nothing?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So I'm wondering what's going
something's
to go on
happened
there.
to her because she
Yeah.
gets powers. So, yeah.
So I want to
Yeah.
know what she turns into.
Yeah. Yeah. She becomes she takes over the mantle of Captain Marvel for a little bit in the comics. So, yeah.
Because Captain Marvel's supposed to be a black person.
No, that's Miss Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I keep getting
I
confused.
wonder
It is
if-
confusing.
I wonder if some of the people in the village will gain powers. You know what I mean? Like,
know.
could some of them become, you know?
How creepy was that scene where Vision unlocks the guy's brain?
Oh,
Yeah. So, man,
super weird.
their acting's good. Even Agnes, see at the beginning where she made a mistake,
Yeah.
and then straight out it says, boom, goes straight into character again. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, that's good.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when she comes in and she goes, "You want me to do it again?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Like as if
It's
like a
just-
TV show.
Yeah.
Like,
Or she's heaps scared. Or,
yeah.
Well, she's in all their heads.
Yeah.
yeah. But it's weird how she's in and out, that character.
Yeah, she kind of.
Where that computer guy, he's either computer dude or like out of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I think Agnes still yet again, no license next to her name on the wall.
no license.
Yeah. So
There's
all
no real identity next to her.
Oh, that's right. You're
yeah.
saying, yeah.
So it's still on the wall, and you're like, I pause it again. I'm like, no license, no.
Yeah. So there's something,
There's
going
something
on.
with her. She's too in the picture for it not to be.
This really opened up to the wider MCU as well. Like the reference, when she came and took Vision's body, and one of the people says that's against the Sokovia Accords. So the Sokovia Accords are still at play.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that thing?
That's from Civil War. That's the agreement that Iron Man and everyone signed that they would be regulated.
Because
the
of
Cap
the
refused to
events of
sign.
Ultron.
Yeah. Ultron and Lagos and all the things that had happened.
yeah.
The casualties.
Yes.
She's not allowed to bring anyone back to life.
No. The Sokovia Accords is that she did that without the... Basically, any of these meta-humans can't operate under their own jurisdiction. There's a governing body that needs to tell them what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
Which
So that's
Captain America points out in Civil War is like a good idea in theory, but what if these people have agendas, and what if they want us to do something we don't want to do?
Yeah.
Or there's something we have to do that they won't let us. It's just that whole the balancing whenever you get into a political game, really. So that was cool though, the security cam footage of her going to get the torn apart Vision.
Yeah.
So what's going on there?
Yeah.
Like,
So do you think they were working on him?
I think.
they were trying to make weapons of
Yeah.
him.
And
They
she's-
say it explicitly.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
And she takes him back, but I think she's taken him back and then given him life again. And I mean, maybe I should just go to it. There is a little bit of information about that, where it says here. Okay, this is supposed to be in the facts. I'm just going to say it. The Vision's remains being dismantled in a lab and later rescued by Wanda are taken from the Vision Quest arc in the Marvel Comics. The reference suggests how Vision could be fully restored to his Marvel Cinematic Universe in that arc, Vision is rebuilt and reactivated, but in a pure white form with his emotions purged, including his feelings for Wanda, for some time until he was later completely restored.
Right. So maybe potentially something that's going on is that she's restored him and he's not the way she wants him to be, and she's manipulating everything to bring it back to what they had
But
before.
why can't she control him now, though?
She still can to a point, but he's powerful. So there's but she still does really get the better of him by the end of the. She retains control.
Yeah.
Not by the end of this episode, really, is it? Because if you look at by the end of this episode,
He's pretty angry.
he's still pretty angry. There's a moment here where he finally says, "You can't control me anymore."
Yeah.
You know, he actually says, like, you know,
But she calms him back down. She talks him back off the ledge.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But it seems more like that's more maybe a relationship thing.
Yeah.
You know?
So we got Pietro back in. I wonder what his role's going to be now.
Yeah, I don't know. This is where everything's getting so, like, it's left us on such a cliffhanger because you just don't know anywhere. They got a million directions that they can go with this now. And all of them are pretty sound. None of them are really shit.
Yeah.
Like,
What is
all
there,
of them
4
could
more
work.
episodes to go?
There's 4 more, so
Yeah.
we're halfway. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because this was episode 5. Yeah, so we've just passed halfway.
Halfway, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically 2 weeks and then a doubler. There's a week off, isn't there?
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing for the show. We're going to be doing another 2 weeks, and then we'll be missing 8 and coming back for 8 and 9. as
Are they
our
releasing
final.
the last 2 together, or we're just doing it that way?
We're doing it that way,
okay.
Yeah.
since we'll be away.
Yeah.
Just on some thoughts on it and going into it. Just want to shout out the opening again, just letting people know how great that Marvel opening is. Gets me going every single time, just going to say it. And I got to do it each week now. I'm sorry. I've made a thing of it. The Charles Darwin Descent of Man. So there's all these little things I always try and listen for in the show. Vision says that the Charles Darwin Descent of Man is what he was reading the children.
Yeah.
And that has, supposedly it has to do with evolution, that book.
It would if it's from Charles Darwin.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the name Descent of Man. But I just thought that was an interesting little thing to have there since the kids are growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So damn fast.
You know what's funny about that too is that in the movie Master and Commander, Paul Bettany played that character that studies all the animals that was kind of like based off an amalgamation of Charles Darwin and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's
it's
kind of
true.
interesting. Yeah, it's cool.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good slow burner.
Yeah.
Yes. The take it from the top is the Agnes moment.
Yeah.
Covered.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, tick it.
Boys haven't slept in days, she says. The boys haven't slept in days, and you're like, this is weird. Like, every time they show those kids, it gets fucking weirder and weirder. And it's weird that they now have the power
To
to
grow.
make themselves grow.
Yeah. That's insane.
That's so odd. Because what she says, she goes like, not until you're around 10. And then they look at each other.
Yeah.
She's like, no.
That's it,
Yeah. The whole opening moment of the film of the show was great. The having the title sequences, which are always good. Like this one here was like based more so off things like Fuller House, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which her twin sisters were in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Baby Vision.
That was weird, man.
That was so
weird.
funny.
It was so weird.
Me and my girlfriend were pissing ourselves laughing. We're like,
even
what
remember
is going on?
They showed the photos of like Vision as a baby.
yeah,
It's
baby.
so weird.
Yeah. It's like,
Because it looks like it was a Photoshop job.
Yeah,
Like someone painted
yeah.
it on. So the Lagos ad... the whole opening kind of reminded me of the title sequence. Kind of reminded me of almost like a pharmaceutical ad as well. Like, you could pretty much plaster like, for the day, type of things over the top and make it a pharmaceutical ad. Also, the cake moment on that part where it says cake 1 to 5
Yeah.
instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So we've gone over the Sokovia Accord.
Yep.
And 10 years old, they're not caring about showing abilities yet now as well. They've kind of started showing their abilities.
Well,
show.
Wanda's, but Vision still doesn't want to.
Yeah, he's kind of like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you becoming so reckless?
I wonder if her experiment, he's her experiment, if you want to put it that way, like her trick, and she's going to be the undoing of it all. Or he's going to be the undoing of it all. So I wonder if he fights her at the end.
It might be the case. But as we've said, there might be something underlying as to why she's doing it. So that's kind of, I think, I don't know, theory-wise, is that where we all stand with this?
What?
Like that there's something possibly controlling her?
I think...
Or something behind the
Here's
scenes
what
with
I'll
her?
say. It would be a cool story if it was just her having an emotional breakdown and she became kind of a villain in the universe
For a moment.
which
yeah.
kind of like, I mean, Tony Stark sort of really became a villain with his obsession with wanting to protect the world at all costs and not worrying about actually letting people live their lives, which is kind of what she's doing, but to a more powerful extent right now.
Yeah.
To save herself. But I don't know if they will do that. But I think for me, either way, I wouldn't be dissatisfied with either way if she's being controlled or if it's literally just her having an emotional.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's more to it because we've been told so early that she's having an emotional breakdown that it seems like something
It's
else
too
is going to
simple.
happen here, and that's been revealed way too early in the piece.
Yeah, I just think as well the inclusion of so many little Hydra things. I mean, that may just be Hayward. You know what I mean? That may just be...
I just think those ads now are just her subconscious things coming out. Like,
Yeah, or that as well, because the fact that, you know, there was all of that before, it might just be the early Wanda thinking about her past.
Well, we've also got to remember, if this is a tie into Doctor Strange, I wonder if we see him in it at the end.
possibly.
Possibly, yeah. He might come in and...
He does monitor all threats to Earth, and like by all intents and purposes, she's kind of a threat to Earth right now. Like if she's doing this on a small scale, but she constantly says to Vision, "How would I have the power to be controlling all of this myself?" She says in this episode.
Yeah, she does.
Which is interesting.
I wonder if that's
just to
stop
shut
him.
up.
I know, but like, is she not even aware of the extent of her power? Is what I'm saying. Like, is she?
Well, definitely not at the moment that Quicksilver ends up at the front of the...
No.
Yeah, that's what I was stumped on.
Yeah. They're very, very good at making you think. They're super good at making you think, these writers at the moment.
Yeah.
They've done such a good job of that. So, can someone give me the facts? This is really bad for people who are just listening to it. Because
Give us the facts.
they got their hands up like Wanda and they're shooting red photon at me, supposedly. I don't know.
I'm shooting something else at you.
Ew. All right.
Go to a doctor if it's red.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Well, Jesus. So to tell people who don't fully understand it so far, the episode's commercial is for Lagos brand paper towel. The city of Lagos, Nigeria, is where Wanda accidentally blew up a building at the beginning of Captain America: Civil War.
Of Wakandan citizens.
That's it. The sudden growth of the twin sons, Tommy and Billy, is a reference to how sitcoms often portrayed infants growing up at an unrealistic rate. A notable example would be from Growing Pains 1985, which featured an infant, Chrissy Seaver, who in the course of just 2 seasons was old enough to attend school. Opening theme is a nod to family ties, both in music and in showing each character through the years. The older show had the painting style as well. There's a lot of really good 80s references, just show references.
I'm not up on my 80s sitcoms. So,
Nor am I, but it seems like they've done a lot of work on it.
Wait, please look at me.
Nor am I. They just, Dan, tell us more. So reference to Full House in the opening theme when the family is running towards the camera, and at the end where WandaVision and their sons sit to have lunch like it's a picnic on some grass.
I'm surprised there's no reference to Alf yet.
Yeah, I know, yeah. At least in some retrospect, like some way. Right at the start, Vision jokes about reading one of the twins, here we go, Charles Darwin's Descent of Man. Paul Bettany played Charles Darwin in the film Creation,
Oh, there you go.
which tells the story of Darwin's development of his theory of evolution.
There you
The episode repeatedly references the sitcom Fuller House. The episode title, On a Very Special Episode, refers to specific 1980s sitcom episodes that dealt with controversial issues, social issues like racism, sexism, abuse, teenage pregnancy, and death, much of which appear in this episode.
Does.
Evan Peters appearing as Pietro is homage to him playing Quicksilver in the 20th century. We know that.
He's
So it
aged.
says here about...
I think his shorter hair makes him look older.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can see around his eyes.
Yeah.
So it says here, both Marvel Studios and 20th Century Fox made an agreement to use both Peter and Wanda since both were X-Men and Avengers, but the condition that they could not make reference to the other studios' properties.
Right.
The Fox films could not mention them as members of the Avengers, while the Marvel films could not mention them as mutants or children of Magneto.
Ah,
Yeah,
'cause
they're
in the-
referred to as miracles in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, and they said that her parents died, but they weren't Magneto. They said
No.
other weird, just random names.
But in the comics, they've actually gone to great efforts to rewrite it so that they're not Magneto's children anymore.
Oh,
Keep-
really?
But
Yeah.
guess what? That agreement no longer stands.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So
Oh.
now
So why didn't they just say Magneto?
we might get that. That's
Yeah.
what we were saying.
Yeah.
Never know. First official crossover between the MCU and Fox-owned properties with the appearance of Pietro. Yep. The appearance of him at the end is a dig at several established tropes. Pietro being recast is a reference to several sitcoms of the time in which characters were recast, such as the character of Becky from the sitcom Roseanne. Pietro's appearance following the rolling of the TV show credits is a reference to Marvel films, including a bonus post-credit scene. The Visions remains. Okay, we've already done that one from before.
Wait, there was no post-credit scene in this episode, was there?
It's just like a reference to the fact that there are post-credit scenes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right.
So like the idea of the rolling credits
Yeah.
continuing on with it. Wanda and Vidge's son Billy says, "Sit, Sparky, sit, good dog," to their dog Sparky. This is a reference to the line, "Sit, Ubu,
Yeah.
sit,
Yeah.
good
At the
dog."
end of Everybody Loves Raymond, it was all at the end.
Yeah.
of
What
that.
was the? It's a production company. What is
Yeah.
that? Where'd that come from?
Well, it says here it was using the closing tag for Ubu Productions, which produced Family Ties, a show which this episode parodies.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Yeah, I always remember it at
Every
the end
time.
of Raymond episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. That is all the facts for this week. There was a lot more than I expected. Last week there was like none.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think we can go on to final thoughts.
Okay.
It's a short one.
Oh, it's all right.
We don't really have anything else to... Does anyone else have anything?
I mean, you can keep digging into theories and theories and theories.
Yeah.
but-
But it's just an endless loop of theories.
I wouldn't know where else to go with them though.
I would say
that
that the whole like the accent thing is interesting with Wanda, where she's got a
change.
thick Sokovian accent when we first meet her. There's more American in the other movies, and when she walked out of the bubble in this episode, it was very Sokovian.
Yeah.
When she was talking, and I was watching an interview with Elizabeth Olsen from about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It was one of those, when they're the Google, like most Googled questions.
Yeah.
And it says, what happened to Wanda's accent? And she
Yeah.
looks at the camera and she's like, I'll never tell. And then goes on. So I'm like, is it
Wow.
purposeful? Or
Well, I wonder if it's something along the same lines as Black Widow. So you know how Black Widow obviously originally would have had a very Russian accent.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe she got tips from her. As simple
Yeah,
as that.
no, but I mean, but I'm wondering her saying something like that and her coming
it
back out with the
something for
accent.
now?
Is it something to do? Have they plotted this out from?
Maybe from that far. I wouldn't be surprised if Feige has done something like that.
It's just
We know that they like to do that.
Actually, I'm looking forward to the 90s, 2000s version of the show.
Yeah, is it going to be like Seinfeld?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to... Well, the 2000s one looks like it's going to be like Modern Family.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
interview.
You can see that in
Yeah.
the trailers, yeah.
Yeah, and then the 90s ones look a bit more like a Seinfeld type of thing.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. Why is she doing this every...
Yeah, every decade.
It's
Did
like-
you see that? Did you see the part in the trailer too, where it's like Vision's trying to escape the hex?
Yeah.
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 That's what I thought when it first showed, when she came out, where you saw the
I thought it
silhouette.
was going to be Vision.
I thought, he's trying to break out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't him.
It's the direction that they're going is it's just so many different ways it could go. It's each week is like a gift and a surprise.
Yeah, I think too that sort of doing a lot more shady stuff than it appears. I think this
100%.
director knows more than what he's letting on,
Yeah.
because the way that he showed that security footage of Vision, her breaking in, it makes it look like she's a villain just breaking in. But then when you look at it, you're like, well, actually, they've got Vision all torn apart into
little
pieces. Like,
yeah.
she's got every right to sort of get in there and save him.
Yeah.
Well, he was also all Thanos did was rip the stone out.
Yeah,
he
so
didn't break him.
They've
into
cut
pieces.
him to pieces, and
yeah.
and how have they done that too? Because he's vibranium. Interesting.
And and how did like the Avengers let that happen?
Well, they
were too distracted by the
with
snap,
Thanos.
because his body would have been left laying there after the snap.
Then again, I do have to admit, like,
Well, but
afterwards,
no, to be fair, that is right, because with the Sokovian Accords, they have to do what they're told.
that as
Yeah,
well.
that's true. Yeah,
I'm sure that Cap, to be able to come back into society after Infinity War, would have had to strike some kind of deal.
Yeah.
He was a war criminal.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny, because in the original Civil War, I don't know if you ever read the comic book.
No, I know what happens in it though. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that ending, the ending of the original one, has Iron Man and Bruce together in a ship at the end, and they kind of say, "We planned how to bring world peace and world
really?
a system defense for the rest of the world in 47 steps or something like that." And he goes, "We're on step 3 or something like that," and you're like, "What?" So it leaves it on this massive cliffhanger. I wonder if any of that is going to come back in a way. Like if there's going to be anything, like maybe Bruce has been working in the background on something like that. We don't have anything present on him doing any type of work like that. And since he's gone off with
Thor.
Yeah.
When you just think about,
Well, actually, wait, was it? Because Thor's with
Oh, no, Thor's with Guardians, so he stayed on
but
Earth.
Thor doesn't really have any connection to Wanda as a character. Like they briefly would have seen each other in Age of Ultron, and then I don't think they have any dialogue together whatsoever after that. Cap was close to her.
Yeah.
He was like a father figure to her.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's close to her because Hawkeye Pietro sacrificed himself to save Hawkeye.
That's right.
So he's always felt this responsibility towards Wanda. So
It's going to be interesting. There's
like,
and they're going to have to start bringing other characters together, though. Like what we've said, like we know that now Doctor Strange is going to come in, but I wonder if they're going to be starting to bring things like Bruce Banner near, Scarlet Witch more or something like that.
He doesn't, because he doesn't really have a relationship with her either.
But now that we have these new
He's
characters,
too wild. He's just by himself.
But now that we have these new characters and some of them gone and different directions, I mean, we never thought that Thor would be chilling with the Guardians.
No, well, they can,
As well, because it's more, space stuff.
it works
spacey.
now. It
Yeah.
works now. But I don't know where they'll go.
Yeah.
Like obviously Bruce Banner's still one of the leading scientists in
Yeah.
the world, so you'd have to think that he'd be on the speed
Oh,
dial
yeah,
list somewhere. Like,
I want to know where they are. I know we're so confined to this at the moment. We'll get more information about other things.
but I don't think. Also, I don't. Yeah, he wouldn't have signed the Accords either. He's got no deal with them to be have to, and he wouldn't trust these organizations anymore.
No.
That's the reason he got away. They're always hunting him.
Yeah.
So he
it's interesting. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know where it's going to go.
But her powers too, I would say, are very much akin to the Reality Stone, even more so in this episode. The way that they talk about how she transformed the Kevlar bulletproof vest into the clothes.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So that was cool. That's something we didn't touch on.
Yeah.
That was an awesome moment.
Yeah. So
The realization.
It's
So what was their idea with sending... Okay, so they sent in the drone, but they talked about like a car as well. Sending in like a tank.
Yeah, sending in stuff that is from the era that is currently happening within the Hex. So that drone was built in the 80s.
Yeah.
So they sent an 80s drone in.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to... So her Hex wouldn't manipulate or change it.
Or change it in any way. Right. Yeah. Okay.
This reminds me of Annihilation.
A little bit,
Yeah.
Do you know what that... I haven't watched that yet. Yeah, I know.
You got to watch that, and you have to watch A Ghost Story.
Yeah.
And it's not... A Ghost Story is not horror. It's a
Drama.
drama.
I like the little joke too of when the drone went in and the guy was like, "I know it's an old camera, but can we enhance it?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's a
Blade
little
Runner,
bit-
the original one is like
Yeah.
enhance.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's final thoughts it. Declan. First with you with the final thoughts.
I want to see more.
That's it. Yeah. I mean,
And I can't wait till Friday. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, they're just dropping little nuggets left,
Yeah.
right, and centre, and
True.
I'm just gobbling them up.
that's it.
And that's it. That's my thoughts. I've got
Yeah.
nothing else to say.
Declan.
Yeah, they've got me hooked. So
Yeah.
I think this episode had the best sequence so far of her going out of the bubble and mind controlling all the soldiers against the director. And she seemed to know who the director was too.
Yeah, but I think that might have to do with what you were saying before.
Yeah.
Just the fact that Vision was
Yeah.
strewn out in pieces.
She said to Monica, "Why are you still alive?"
Did she?
Yep.
No, she's, why are you still here?
Why are you still here?
Oh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No, and then she says, then Monica makes a point that you didn't kill me and you knew that I wasn't a threat and you let me help deliver your babies. Like,
okay.
like she's trying to. So
trying
they're
to say,
still, they're really
you can
pointing out the
trust
fact
me.
that Wanda isn't evil.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
but he's painting her. He's just trying to paint her with that villain brush straight up. He just wants to take her out. He's shooting missiles at her.
Yeah. Well, because he was in that room and saying like, she took out all these people
Yeah.
in Lagos, and they were like, yeah, but not on purpose. He's like, well,
Yeah.
it has that little like moment, and they're like, no, not on purpose. Seriously. He silences the other guy in the room for it. Anyway, no, I really thoroughly enjoyed the episode, and like both of you, I can't wait for this Friday.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see where this goes because we just have so many directions that it
Yeah.
can go. And
That-
now with Pietro coming in,
Yeah,
Crazy.
Disney Plus have really captured that old feeling of episodic television. Like I said last week, not to the level of like the early seasons of Game of Thrones, but I'm looking forward to Fridays specifically
Yep.
for WandaVision, and I was
Yeah.
looking forward to it for Mando when that was doing its run as well. So
Yep.
keep it up.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
true, man. Yeah.
And it was funny. I told my girlfriend, she didn't know, but I told my girlfriend, so this will finish soon, and I don't think we're going to get another WandaVision ever again. It'll be like its own series, and then move on. And she was like all sad about it, and I said, but right after it, we get
What kind?
Falcon and
Falcon, yeah.
Falcon
Yeah.
and Winter Soldier. She's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, and then you know what we get right after that? Loki. And she's like, really? And she's like,
I'm keen for
freaking
Loki.
out.
I love, everyone knows, I love
Tom
the outer world
Hiddleston.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots and lots to come.
I hope
And
Loki's not based on
Obi-Wan
Earth.
started production as well
that's going to be good too.
last week.
What's that? Obi-Wan? Oh, yeah.
Started
See, that'd be
production,
good
yeah.
too.
With
yeah.
Ewan McGregor still?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but it's not with, what's his name? The director from the first one.
Dave Filoni,
No, and what's the other guy's
Jon
name?
Favreau.
Yeah, they're not part of that one, are they?
No, they're not. So they're
Boba
not.
Fett.
So what's happening?
No.
They're not specifically as heavy-handed involved as they were with Mando.
Yeah.
But a woman who directed a couple of episodes from season 1 of Mandalorian,
Yeah.
Deborah Chow, or something
Oh, I
along
thought
those
it was
lines.
the
Right.
chick from Jurassic World.
No.
She did one, didn't she?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
she
she
did do
did.
one.
And that was a good episode.
Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard.
yeah. She's a good director.
Yeah.
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 So it's this lady's overseeing the whole thing. I
Right.
think she's going to direct every episode, so it'll be
Oh,
consistent.
well, that'd be good, yeah.
Well, that's like, what's the one? Is it Squadrons or something?
Yeah.
That's also coming.
That's a movie.
That's being done by
Oh.
Patty
Yeah,
Jenkins.
yeah. That's a film.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that Wonder Woman.
I think she'll be fine. She'll find something.
But I would
with
say
it.
that Filoni and Favreau are going to be like the overlords of everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God. I think Favreau is a good person to have in that rung.
Yeah.
He's seen the whole of Marvel go into fruition.
Yeah.
He'll be good to have.
I love
next
watching
to
him on that cooking show on Netflix because he always talks about when he used to work on the ranch.
Yeah,
At the-
Chef. It's like Chef or something.
Yeah. It's good.
The movie's good. Have you ever
Yeah,
seen
it's
Chef?
a really good movie.
Chef
Yeah.
is a good movie,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
and like feel good, real good, feel good movie. Alrighty, let's wrap this up. We just did our review of WandaVision episode 5. You've been listening to I said Spoil Radio.
Wow.
Nearly went backwards. Neon Radio Podcast. I'm Reece,
I'm Dan.
I can't remember anything from before this podcast. I'm Declan.
and you have a good week. Respect.